Okay guys, welcome to the Extreme build stream. Today we will be building a PC as you might expect. So that's how it's gone. One sec before we get started. Okay, so I'm gonna try and walk you guys through this as much as possible. So first off, you get the motherboard. Most of these parts are brand new, so you should have everything you need in here. Just grab this out, all the stickers and everything else. Probably just leave in there for now at least. Obviously, you want to take it out of the plastic anti-static bag, you know, so you can actually use it. This motherboard's pretty cheap. It's not that good, but it's gonna work. I like to put it on the box because the cardboard's not electrically conductive, so won't kill it by doing this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is grab a CPU. We're gonna install this. The stock cooler, probably. So Ryzen stock cooler is pretty good. It's not terrible like the Intel one. Like it'll work. Yeah. Brand new CPU, brand new motherboard. If it doesn't work, just return it, but it probably should. Get a little lever there. Once you've done that, put it in facing this way. Press it down. Should be in. Yep. We're going to install the stock cooler. Basically, to do that, we're going to need to first grab it out. This little box. Open it up here. Got pre-applied thermal paste. We don't need to add any more, which is pretty good. You know, saves cost, whatever. Let's put this back in here. There you go. 6 Ryzen CPUs. Yeah, you can never have enough. Anyway, back to this. So grab probably this one. Phillips head 2. You know, standard. And for the Ryzen one, you gotta uninstall this part, but you gotta keep the back plate. I recommend keeping these screws, this thing, because you might need it if you ever want to resell your motherboard, because it keeps the back plate in place when you take the cooler off. And some coolers use it to attach, but most don't. So, up to you with that one. Anyway, keep unscrewing these. Just done that, and grab the cooler. So the AMD thing is like this, but it can only go in either this way or this way. I like to have the logo on the side facing like this, because then you can read it when you're looking at the PC. Then you just gotta screw it in. To add a little extension, otherwise the screwdriver, hits the side. But you only want to screw it in an X pattern so that you get even mounting pressure across the thing. So do a bit there, and a bit here. Just get this in. Then I'll go here. Then here. It's a bit annoying. Let's try and get that to actually screw in. So that's in all the way. Just tighten this one. Yep. Tighten that. Yeah, and tighten this one. So once they're on fully in all the way, just don't forget to plug in the fan header. Usually it's marked CPU fan, but it could be anything really. This is the closest one. Should work. Just want to kind of hide it a little bit down the side. So you don't want to see all these cables. You gotta install the RAM. Going with a little bit of RGB RAM here today. T-Force RAM. You always want to install it in the second and fourth slot. Not sure why. It's just how motherboards like it. Just install that in. Want to grab our SSD, and then we're gonna need those things from inside the box actually. These little M.2 screw holder things. We don't need the box anymore. Put that there. This little packet. So you gotta install this little thing here. So that's in. Grab our SSD. This is a 500 GB SSD. You know, not huge, but it's enough. I'm just gonna be selling this anyway, so whoever buys it can upgrade themselves if they want. You know, get like a big hard drive or big SSD, up to them. But 500 is enough for a few light games. Just get my M.2 screwdriver. I like to think that 1 TB is probably the minimum for most new games these days, but it's just how it is. 500 GB, only $30. It's good enough. Make sure that's in. Boy. We can grab out our case. Just one sec. Okay. So for the case, going with this Silverstone case. Picked up here today. Take off the side panel. We can get it to come off. Probably take off the back as well. We'll do that later actually. Okay, first thing you gotta do is install the IO shield. You don't want to forget that. A lot of people do. It's not good. Because you can't really put it back without taking the whole PC apart again. So you grab it, figure out which way it goes, stick it in the back. Cheaper IO shields can be a bit hard to get in sometimes. Kind of just gotta force it. So once that's done, actually we will need the screws from the back. So in the back, when you buy a new case, come with all the random cables, and you should get a bag with some screws and zip ties, which is what we need. This one comes with two RGB fans in the front. I don't know if you can see. Pretty big fans. Should be enough cooling. Shouldn't have to add any extra ones today. Because it's just not a very powerful Ryzen CPU or anything. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. These should be the motherboard screws. And we might need these. So, that up as well. So these little standoff screws. You don't want to forget those because then you can't screw the motherboard screws in. So I have to add those in first. You gotta tighten them with this little tightener that it includes. Just screw it in. Once that's in, we can grab our motherboard and chuck it in. Make sure to line it up in the back with that IO shield thing. You just want to check the back here. Once you get that none of the metal tabs are stuck into any of the USB ports, like this one is here. Just move it out a little bit. Bend that up. Put it back in. And, there you go. Should all be good. Now we just gotta screw it in. Grab our motherboard screws. Put them in one at a time, guess. Probably one of those electric screwdrivers. Then you can just put it in really fast. But cost money, you know, like everything else. Just try and get these screws in. As I said before, the Ryzen CPU cooler, it's not terrible and it works, but if you can afford it in your budget, just spend an extra like $30, $40 and get a decent tower cooler. It'll keep CPU cooler and it'll be quieter. But for this, you know, parts aren't that good. So 16 gigs of RAM, Ryzen 5, 500 GB SSD. Could have added a CPU cooler, but with that extra money would be better going into like a 1 TB SSD or something. So you gotta pick what's best. Swap more motherboard screw. Just go stick it in there. There we go. Should be good. I'll just grab out the power supply now. This one's a little bit overkill. We got a 650 watt Data XPG pylon one with a random anime girl on the front for some reason. I don't know. I guess it appeals to some gamers. Who knows? You could easily get away with a 550 watt power supply for this build, maybe even 450, but 550 should be good enough as long as it's 80 plus bronze, which means at minimum you get 80% of the power efficiency. So we'll just grab it out here. Comes with a power cable like they all do, which is, it's good. And stickers and screws, because why not? Get this out of the way again. And with all the stickers I get from this PC stuff, I've got a whole box of them. I'll show you guys later, maybe. You also want to take off the little peel that's on this. It can be hard to get sometimes, but you guys can't see. Always have these little peels on these, badge things. Just gotta get it off. It can be a bit hard sometimes, but there we go. That peel, so shiny. Okay, to install, we're just gonna move this other stuff out of the way first. Then you want the fan. You want to be facing the bottom, basically, because this case at least has a fan filter at the bottom. You could have it going the fan at the top because it's got vents here as well, but it's better for it to have fresh air from the bottom. Let's align this up and grab our screws. Screw them in. one at a time like usual. This is my screwdriver ratcheting. This is the sound that you guys hear. What is this? Lemon Slice is asking for info. What kind of info you want, Lemon Slice? Lemon Slice, what info you need? Just tell me. Is 64% isopropyl alcohol fine? I mean, I'd recommend 99% because you're dealing with electronics. You don't want to get any water or other random stuff on there. And isopropyl alcohol, it's used because it evaporates really fast and it's non-conductive. It should be fine. 99% best is best, but just make sure the PC's powered off. Make sure it's dry before you turn it back on. And you shouldn't have any issues, I don't think. Pretty much done. I won't bore you guys with plugging in all the cables. I'll just grab out the graphics card real quick. And we'll plug that in, and then the stream will probably end. But hey, we got the RX 6600 Swift one. Only 299 Aussie dollars. Brand new, you know. Pretty good value. It beats the RTX 3060 in some games. Just because, some games prefer AMD, some games prefer Nvidia. But it is only 300 bucks, and the RTX 3060 goes for at least 400, 450. Warranty, driver, who really cares about that? We just want the card. Unboxing experience for you guys. Unless you missed that. Basically, it's fine, but just let it dry before you turn it back on. Make sure it's powered off when you do it. Like, you could cover your motherboard in water, and as long as it's dry and powered off, and dries before you power it back on, it'll be fine. Just do not make it touch water while it's on. A little bit of peeling to do on this graphics card. But people find that satisfying, I'm not sure why. But show you guys, you just peel all that off. Oh, second peel on the back of the card. Just get that from there. It's not the cleanest peel, but got it off in the end. Just a bit. Just get that off. You want to take off this little thing at the bottom so you can actually plug it in. Bring the PC back. Oh yeah, in cheaper cases, you're going to have to pop out the PCIe slots because they're not replaceable. And this case is one of those cases, unfortunately. Sick. So unlike my normal videos where they're all sped up, this one's actually a live stream. But I'm not going to do all the cable management because that would just get really boring. I'm just going to install the graphics card, CPU, whatever. You can like wiggle these PCIe slots out because it's just like tabs of metal that you got to push out instead of actual ones where you can replace them. It's cheaper for some reason. And let me just stick the card in. If it wants to go in, it's stopping you. There we go. What you're gonna have to do is screw it in. Oops. the back in big fat letters it says "Made in China." If you guys haven't noticed, it's because China makes all the electronics these days, even your little iPhone. It's just cheaper. Lemon Slice is asking, what's the specs for this PC? Okay, we've got a Ryzen 5 5500. It's like 150 bucks, which is the same price as the Intel 12th Gen i3, but it's better. It's kind of like a cheaper Ryzen 5 5500, 5600, which competes with the i5. So, it's kind of like a worse i5, but same price as an i3. So, pretty good value for what you get. Just dropped a screw. Let me grab that. Yeah, I have no idea where it went, but let's find out later. Anyway, that's pretty much up to it for this PC. We can look inside. I'll do a second stream or an update to this stream. Actually, I might just pause this stream and then here's the other screw. I'll pause this stream. I'll do all the cable management. I'll plug in all the cables. Then I'll unpause it and you guys can see it turn on. Anyway, that's about it. I don't actually know how you pause the stream, so I'm probably just gonna stop this one. And it's gonna be it. Anyway, see you Xtreme Bean Clan.